Hello, my name is Majid Heidari, and I'm presenting this essay for the Forum on Aesthetic Teaching or Education on October 23. I'm recording this as Valerie Vino asked me. So right away I start my presentation. The name is Exploring Mashhad Artists' Life Journeys Through Metaphors. Let me give you a context. I live in Mashhad actually. I'm engaged in art research and writing, and my base of operation is in Mashhad, Iran. Mashhad is a big city with a strong conservative spirit, primarily attributed to the significance presence of the shrine of Imam Reza, a place of great importance for Shia Muslims. To help you grasp the atmosphere in my city, let me provide two examples. While in other cities of Iran, uh, the government permit music concerts, albeit without alcohol or dancing. In Mashhad, singers are not allowed to hold any kind of concerts, music concerts. Moreover, just a month ago, local cafes in Mashhad were required to reduce the space they allocate to customers in pedestrian area. The primary objective of this action was to deter young people from gathering and smoking in public view. Despite Mashhad's substantial population of around 4 million, the realm of artistic activities is profoundly limited, and independent art centers are few. Most of the independent art centers I'm aware of have experienced closure at least once due to their perceived failure to adhere to the strictures of Islamic principles. Additionally, there is a notable lack of independent media coverage dedicated to the arts in Mashhad. In this context, it's highly likely that this is the first time young artists from Mashhad are being introduced to an English-speaking audience, or that a writer has undertaken to document their experiences. This is an exceptional and infrequent occurrence in my city. While all the artists have cooperated with me and welcomed my efforts, I encountered some challenges. None of them had previously documented their work comprehensively, nor had they framed their activities in a coherent and organized manner. Finally, I must express my gratitude to Valerie for extending this invitation to participate in this project. I've taken great pleasure in writing about the young artists in my city. I subscribe to radical aesthetics and follow the principles of pragmatism in my writings, research, and teaching. It is undoubtedly um, challenging to shine a spotlight on marginalized individuals in a country where power is centralized and underpinned by strong ideological forces. However, through my work, I've come to realize that persistence, activism, and hope can be a source of inspiration for many. It is through unwavering commitment and effort that we can make meaningful change. Let's get into the introduction part. A metaphoric analysis of the life journey of artists diminishes the representational weight of artworks and links them to the everyday experiences of artists as ordinary individuals living in a specific society. The narratives I'm about to share may not be filled with extraordinary or astonishing elements, but they encapsulate the lives of artists whose world revolves around their creative endeavors and expressions. These are the stories of those who may not occupy the central stage in the realm of art, but have wholeheartedly devoted their lives to blurring the boundaries, as John Dewey eloquently put it, between play, work, and creation. Just as one can choose and become a chef, an office clerk, or a teacher, one can also opt to create things to make a living, things like sculptures, paintings, or calligraphy. What is remarkable about these creations is that they take on a life of their own, imbued with the experiences of their creators, and those who acquire them use these handmade pieces symbolically, enriching the layers of meaning in their own lives. After years of teaching aesthetics, I've come to a profound understanding of a substantial divide that exists between artists, art researchers, and the general populace. Each of these groups approaches art from distinct perspectives. Artists immerse themselves in the realm of creation, focusing on techniques and forms, and also a little bit about market and presentation. Art researchers delve into interpretation and explanation, seeking to unravel the underlying meanings and context. Meanwhile, ordinary people engage with art in diverse ways, from seeking meaning and enjoyment to pursuing social status within the art world, or simply aiming for financial gain through the trade of artistic works. One approach to bridge this divide involves delving into the life journeys of artists to understand how these experiences have influenced their perspective on the world. Many of the artists I've encountered often struggle with adequately documenting their creative endeavors and presenting themselves and their work in well structured texts, such as portfolios and catalogs. One contributing factor to this issue is that limited freedom of expression in Iran, which has cast a shadow over the realm of art journals. With severe constraints on publication, including censorship and the challenging processes of obtaining publication licenses, there are now very few art journals in circulation. As a result, these remaining publications predominantly focus on well-established mainstream artists. I should tell you that every term at university, I review all the media that write about art in Iran. The majority of the artists I've selected for my study, have not received thorough interviews or seen their works effectively documented. Consequently, they face difficulties with attempting to articulate their artistic journey, define their artistic approach, or even clarify their role within the art community of Mashhad. In curating this group of artists, I've made every effort to showcase individuals for whom the act of creation is a central facet of their lives. I'm referring to artists who humbly dedicate themselves primarily to their studio work and who then make their creations available in local or national art market. My primary emphasis has been on emerging female artists, and I've also prioritized artists who have consciously chosen to distance themselves from mainstream society and the art community in particular. Next, I will introduce you to 7 artists I've carefully chosen according to specific criteria that I say again: youth, marginality, and a strong connection between their life and work. I've made an effort to discover a metaphorical interpretation of both their art and their life, drawing from my familiarity gained through interviews and personal acquaintance over the years of teaching. Some of these artists were once my students, while others I recently came across through my social media announcement just a few weeks prior to this presentation. Let's get to the first artist. Her name is Sahar Motahari Nejad. Sahar is a sculptor, is a self-taught artist whose creative journey is a blend of personal experimentation and adaptation to the Instagram-driven art market. In her early 20s, She grappled with career uncertainty, venturing into the world of art with a fascination for facial anatomy, but without a clear path, encouraging feedback. Sorry, facial anatomy, but without a clear path. Encouraging feedback, including guidance from art instructors, propelled her forward through a trial and error process. As I'm reading, you can see some of her works. Her artistic aim is to craft meaningful works that reflect her worldview. She explores ironic themes through sculptures of Qajar, or in Farsi we say Qajar, men and women, about 100 years ago. I mean, Qajar era, which despite their solemn expressions have found notable success. She openly expresses her concerns about the future of her country, especially in the context of Iran's internet challenges, where Instagram access is often restricted, requiring the use of anti-filters. Sahar aspires to exhibit her work, but faces self-confidence challenges and uncertainty about the path to make this dream a reality. Her creations predominantly feature women of varying ages, often displaying a graceful sadness. She perceived women's heads as vessels where plants can flourish, fish can emerge, and exotic hairstyles can be showcased, sometimes veiled by scarves. These small-scale, gracefully melancholic female torsos can also be incorporated into accessories like necklaces. Sahar's distinctive worldview has led to notable success in the local art market, despite not showcasing her work in notable city galleries. Sahar's life journey may be relatively short at around 28 years old, but she has made a significant impact in one of Iran's largest cities, where conservative and religious values prevail. Her elegant, touching sculptures appear to challenge viewers, inviting them to rethink their understanding of women. Sahar's world is modest, and her aspirations are closely tied to Instagram. Her journey has been experimental and deeply connected to the digital realm, but she remains committed to her artistic vision of women. Sahar's work seeks to portray the authentic faces of Iranian women, a stark departure from the state's official narrative. She resists, at least in my idea, resists societal pressures and conveys her small-scale dreams through her art while navigating worries about the future. Let's get to the second artist that I chose, the metaphor emotional labyrinth for her works or for her life journey. Hadith Hemmati. At some point in our lives, many of us experience a moment when our work, passions, play, and leisure activities blend harmoniously, leading us to discover a therapeutic pursuit that brings solace. Hadith's project is a remarkable example of such integration, intertwining her artistic world with her personal challenges and her routine wanderings along the mountain path near her home. Upon my recommendation, Hadith took on the role of an artist researcher and composed a detailed account of this project. She delved into her emotions, documented her trials and errors, included feedback from others, discussed the evolution of her insights, explored her research on stones and colors, and investigated potential environmental impacts, among other discoveries made throughout the process. This endeavor has transcended mere technique exploration, evolving into a journey of self discovery, experiential learning, and an artistic undertaking. Actually, she's writing on the stones around she walks around the mountains nearby her house and writes. Hadis actually is a calligrapher. Hadis used to practice a very traditional art form, calligraphy, deeply rooted in Quranic texts and held in high regard among Muslims. However, she later reinterprets calligraphy as a means of artistic expression on various surfaces, including stones and, in another project, the female body, pushing its boundaries beyond the confines of tradition. Her courage in experimenting with this art is both commendable and conspicuous. What truly makes her work significant is her endeavor to bridge the seemingly unbridgeable gap between a formal and conservative art, like calligraphy, and the contemporary societal demands and concerns. She takes on the challenge of addressing the real issues people face in the present day through an art form traditionally immersed in history. Heidi's artwork exists as a complex convergence, a labyrinth where multiple threads intervene. With this creative space, her personal life challenges, the intricacies of her artistic endeavors, her documented journey, her exploration of techniques and forms, the layers of societal complexities, and her outdoor fitness routines all coalesce. Interpreting her works poses a formidable task due to various factors, including the historical prominence of calligraphy in the Islamic tradition, recent shifts in the naqashi khat, kind of calligram in English we say, movement, her unique perspective as a woman in a patriarchal society, and her pursuit of therapeutic release through her artistic endeavors. Now let's go to the third artist. I chose the metaphor village of peace. Hadise Najminia. She hails from a rural background and pursued her education in the art painting in Mashhad. Her artwork beautifully encapsulates her initial impressions of her hometown, a charming village just an hour away from Mashhad. To her, nature is a harmonious interplay of lines and shapes, and she smartly follows these contours, melding them with her intellectual insight to craft abstract, simplified, serene, vibrant depictions of rural scenes. Her canvas seemed to convey the tranquility of a village, as if viewed through the wide lens of a camera. Her artistic perspective and approach reflect a humble attitude, yet they offer us a sweeping panorama of the rural landscape in a modest frame. Life in a rural setting can be challenging, particularly when located in close proximity to bustling cities where people yearn for connection to urban modernity. However, Hadis wholeheartedly embraces her roots and presents the village's finest aspects to presumably the citizens of a bustling metropolis like Mashhad. In a world where peace of mind is a rarity, particularly in the frenetic pace of urban life, her art offers a soothing break. Look at the other pages from Hadise. I really like the composition and the choice of colors. Although she's young, her paintings at least look to me very well structured. Next one is I want to tell you about is Hedayat Govahi, and I chose the metaphor guardian of the city's memory. Hedayat may not be as young as some of other artists I've chosen to write about, but I assure you, he possesses a youthful spirit within. You won't find him reachable by phone or on social media, but if you manage to locate him, he'll eagerly amuse you with tales of Mashhad's historic districts. His knowledge is a treasure trove of specific historical landmarks and homes. Hedayat's mission encompasses several key facets. Firstly, he searches the city, especially its historic center, in a relentless pursuit of aging houses, striving to identify and preserve each unique stone. Notably, he successfully saved and restored significant projects such as the Daruge house, yet he grapples with the frustration stemming from the city hall's flawed policies and the organization of cultural heritage's perceived deviation from UNESCO's protocols and standards. When a house escapes destruction primarily due to when a house doesn't escape destruction, primarily due to financial constraints and misguided city policies, Hedayat meticulously salvages precious materials like columns, doors, bricks, and any salvageable item, repurposing them in various city endeavors. His portfolio showcases numerous restoration projects utilizing these reclaimed materials, and this is in this picture you can see one of them. That this a kind of monument that you see in the square, it's just like that, made with the material from the old houses. In my view, Hedayat embodies the role of the city's memory guardian, a sentiment evident in the images he shares on his Instagram, showcasing his diverse projects. His narrative is profoundly significant for several reasons. He stands as a guardian of historical memories, steadfast against detrimental policies and a city culture overly focused on financial gain. Additionally, Hedayat's journey underscores that to be an effective activist, one requires unwavering determination and action. He is an example of expertise in his field, courageously opposing misguided policies and individuals indifferent to the city's culture and identity, placing profits above all are. In one of the very significant and important projects he had, he rebuilt this old house. This is before rebuilding, and this is after rebuilding, and he always talks about these projects of his to me, and this is one very important project and was very successful. Let's go to the next artist that I chose, Canvas of Unity. Nona is a fervent painter, Nona Namazi. But what truly makes her story captivating is her deep passion for fostering dialogues among artists. She has approached me on numerous occasions seeking advice on how to initiate these engaging conversations within the artistic community of Mashhad. What's intriguing is that this same passion she displays in her paintings as well in her depiction of various garments piled in different corners of a home. Let me say again, what's intriguing is that this same passion, means passion for dialogue, she displays it in her paintings as well in her depiction of the various garments piled in different corners of a home. These clothes, though empty of human form, appear to be gathered for a silent dialogue, a communication without words, just like clothes without people. They stand as pure forms, devoid of the human bodies that would typically inhabit them. It appears to me that Nona is in pursuit of a form of unity that has thus far remained elusive to her within the artist community. She channels this yearning for unity into her artwork, where she depicts piles of clothing on a couch or nestled in room corners. Besides, I interpret these clothing stacks, devoid of human bodies, as a means to circumvent the constraints associated with displaying nudity in Iran, where even depictions of women without a hijab are restricted. I refer to Nona's paintings as a method to transcend these limitations or escape from these limitations, as if these garments were put on by women without the hijab, they wouldn't be permissible for exhibition in galleries. At 33 years old, Nona has actively participated in various art events in Mashhad, ardently striving to infuse fresh vitality into the local art scene. Her pursuit of unity may have proven elusive so far, but her determination remains unwavering, and she continues to carry the torch of hope. Just a minute. The village of hope is my next metaphor for the life journey of an artist. آذرخش کدکنی شفیعی کدکنی. Immigration undeniably stands as a prominent theme in contemporary times in Iran, with numerous young individuals seeking opportunities in Europe or North America, particularly in the aftermath of government crackdowns on frequent uprisings we had in the last decades. Azarakh's story offers a window into her experiences after 2 years of immigration to the United States. She shares with me, of course, in our dialogues, that she often struggles to find the same warmth and passionate friendships in the US that she once enjoyed in Iran. Despite her dedication and hard work, she still feels as though it's not quite enough. While she has achieved a great deal in these 2 years, there is still a long road ahead, especially when compared to others who dream of being in her position. Azarakhsh has found that her understanding of the United States differs from her initial expectations, but she remains determined to stay, complete her education, and secure a good job. This is a work that she just exhibited about a few months ago in the United States. These are the mirrors. When you look at the mirrors, you see yourself from different perspectives. It is inspired by the same kind of, I will say, in following. For Azarakhsh, the concept of home has taken on a deeper meaning since she moved away. She believes that one truly grasps the significance of home when they are far from it. In one of her recent artworks, she presents a portion of the decoration found in the shrine of Imam Reza in Mashhad. Her project is a reconstruction of the mirrors on the shrine ceiling. These mirrors, when gazed upon, reveal multifaceted reflections from different angles. This view draws inspiration from the many dimensions of immigration that unfold after the journey, encompassing both the hardship and successes, hope and despair. Ultimately, it serves as an emotional reminder of the things that are often taken for granted when you are at home, but are deeply missed once you leave it. Azarakh's art beautifully encapsulates the complex tapestry of emotions and experiences that accompany the immigrant's journey. Now let's get to the last artist. And the metaphor I chose is erasing the central. Our artist is Somaye Hamed. Mashhad, situated on the outskirts of Tehran. Of course, it's not outskirt. I mean, comparing to the capital of Iran, it shares a common narrative with numerous smaller cities that are in a way on the periphery of Mashhad. Somaya's story is one of displacement, a result of her father's job, which has compelled her to reside in a city that she has grown to dislike. I mean, she wanted to stay in Mashhad, but she has to live in another city called Shahrud, leaving her feeling like an exile in her own life. Despite her modest background in the realm of art, she found herself drawn to graphic design out of financial necessity, all the while holding a master's degree in painting. In her thesis project, Somaya unveiled a unique and deeply personal endeavor. Her exploration of lines, words, and color is both visual and experimental, and it displays a profound sense of self expression. Through her work, she has brought to life her own distinctive visual language, one that captures the essence of her existence on the margin, far from the heart of Mashhad. Initially, she crafted these images by sewing onto fabric and, later transcribed them onto canvas or paper, Fabriano, cardboard. Color in her creation serves a distinct role, vividly conveying the emotions of exclusion she experiences. Words, on the other hand, take on a therapeutic function in her art, offering a form of solace. The blank spaces within her compositions tenderly symbolize the gradual erasure of her world as she navigates life on the margins. While her images may not align with the traditional expectations of gallery exhibitions, they powerfully bear witness to her existential reality and her unique artistic sensibility, rooted in her lived experience. Somaya's art is an exotic testament to the rich tapestry of her life. Now let's get to the conclusion part. I've put forth my utmost effort to bring forth the narratives of several local, marginalized, and aspiring young artists, individuals wholeheartedly committed to their artistic pursuits. These are artists who channel their energies into crafting images, sculptures, paintings, drawings, and artworks that encapsulate the world they inhabit. Their life journeys hold profound significance, serving as a mirror to the way the younger generation comprehends and expresses their existence within the society. Now, we have the chance to interlace these individual stories into a larger narrative that leans more towards the literary rather than scientific. Allow me to start from the very beginning. Once upon a time, there was a young man with a fervent desire to become a writer. He embarked on a journey to a governmental cultural center, seeking to partake in writing classes and join a community of fellow writers. Alas, he found himself disheartened, for the environment was steeped in ideology, far removed from the dreams he nurtured. Undeterred, he decided to write and hone his skills, sharing his writings with friends, eagerly seeking their feedback. He even went on to publish a collection of short stories, but alas, none achieved the desired success. There was a void, a conspicuous absence of a community in which to share his writings and engage in meaningful dialogues that could enhance his understanding of texts and writing. Years rolled by, and he graduated, turning to weblogging and eventually launching a Telegram channel. Slowly, students and a handful of individuals started to follow his writings, Occasional mentions from friends and a rare reference to his work provided a glimmer of engagement. Now, at the age of 43, our protagonist, that's me, can write about artists and various other subjects. He devotes himself to creating an environment that fosters meaningful dialogues, one that encourages the involvement and progression of young minds. Therefore, with the aim of fostering a culture of dialogue and inspiring my students to engage in meaningful discussions, I meticulously curated a group of artists from Mashhad based on a specific criteria: their local presence, their position on the fringes of the art market, their status as young emerging talents, and the strong connection between their life experiences and their creative work. While my intention was to choose artists who had consistently produced work over the years, I didn't limit myself to this criterion alone. The outcome of this selection process provided me with a completely new perspective on these artists, as my in-depth exploration of the work was truly enlightening. I've come to realize how distinct they are from the previous generation and established artists I've known from our city. This new generation of artists is characterized by self-effacement and abundant talent, yet they often lack self-confidence. They prefer to reside in their own creative spheres rather than seeking validation from various governmental institutions. This is the tale of promising generation of artists who, while not showing overconfidence or boundless ambition, have learned to thrive on the periphery of what governmental bodies define as art and what independent art institutes consider market-worthy or artistic. These artists have chosen unconventional paths, diverging from society's well-trodden routes. They have turned their backs on the ideological expectation of the state and art institutions, opting for a unique journey filled with dreams, therapeutic expressions, rural serenity, activism, meaningful dialogues, immigration, and isolation. Thank you for your attention, and let me thank few people. I extend my gratitude to everyone who played a role in this journey. I would like to express my thanks to Valerie Vino for the invitation to this forum, Negar Gholamzadeh for her assistance with documentation, Nona Namazi for her support, my dedicated students across various classes who not only took the time to engage with the text but also shared their insightful perspectives. I'd also like to acknowledge the input of my wife Khatere and my son Behrat, who offered valuable comments on some of the artworks. Last but not least, a special mention goes to my beloved dog, who reminded me to take breaks during my work by giving my leg a friendly nip. Your collective support and involvement have been truly appreciated. Now take a look at the artists I have chosen: Sahar Mutahari Nejad, Hadith Najminiya, Hidayat Govahi, Hadith Himmati, Nona Namazi, Somaye Hamed, Azarakhsh Shafi Katkani, and me, myself, Majid Heidari. Thank you for your attention, and once again, thank you, Valerie, for giving me this opportunity to present my text. Hope to see you again. In real, I recorded this video because I thought that internet, at least here in Iran, is not very stable. So I thought I record this video in case I couldn't present it online or I didn't have a stable internet. Thank you again, and bye.